So for more, it's a pleasure to welcome to studio international affairs analyst Dan Perry, author of the newsletter Ask Questions Later and the former Europe and Middle East editor at the Associated Press, and security analyst Jonathan Regev. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for being here. So Benjamin Netanyahu says it's a clear message around the region. We will continue to strike anyone who attacks us, and we will reach them. Let's start with the Houthis in Yemen. Just in recent hours, the updates right now, Jonathan.
So as you mentioned, a strike and attack from Israel, again targeting oil facilities or oil and fuel facilities in Yemen, targeting training facilities. Israel has major achievements on this issue of attacking the Houthis. As you mentioned, there was also an attack killing several top officials in Yemen. Israel is also very successful at intercepting almost everything coming in from Yemen, but not everything altogether. And the difficult example came earlier this week at the Ramon airport, which was hit and people were injured apart from the damage. All those achievements are true. Will all this stop the missiles and drones being sent from Yemen? The answer is no. It will not happen, and it will not happen until someone comes in and carries out the ground operation and replaces the regime in Yemen, in that part of Yemen. That someone will not be Israel, simply because Yemen is 1,000 miles away. This is not something that Israel can do. The natural player that would have to do that is Saudi Arabia, which likes the Houthis pretty much as Israel likes the Houthis. But they're not interested. They're not going into that. And as long as that does not happen, and I don't see it happening anytime soon, drones will keep coming, missiles will keep coming. We all know, anyone living here, that I'm going to express a crazy reality which we all live. We hardly ever treat the missiles and the drones coming from Yemen anymore, which is completely wrong. We're all wrong by doing that, because those missiles kill, those missiles cause damage. It can happen. The missile defense system here in Israel is outstanding, but it's not. There's no such thing as 100%. These missiles can hit, the drones can hit, they can inflict damage, they can cause casualties. We're all playing it down, and we shouldn't.
And Dan, to that exact point, the Houthis have been targeting Israel for the better part of this war. And impact or not, effective or not, it still is ongoing. Who effectively and realistically could stop them at this juncture?
The reasonable aspiration Israel might have is to weaken the Houthis enough to encourage the Saudis and the UAE to move back in conjunction with remaining troops loyal to the internationally recognized pre-Houthi government that ruled Sana'a, and it still rules other parts of Yemen, and indeed rules the Aden port, just not the Hodeidah port that the Houthis rule. The Houthis have taken over half the country. That part that is most able to impede maritime traffic headed up to Egypt through the Suez Canal, and is closer to Israel. So the remarkable thing is how undeterrable they are. Remember that just less than 2 weeks ago, Israel conducted a strike on the Houthi cabinet. They are sort of the government of part of Yemen, so let's call it the cabinet. There was one official who was termed the prime minister, and he and a bunch of ministers were killed. And this mattered not a fig, and they continue to fight on. Daring Israel to do what I think Israel would be wise not to do in this case, which is to begin a kind of escalation that seems justified when you're being attacked by terrorists relentlessly, and risk causing damage to civilian populations and civilian infrastructure in Yemen, and risk a return of the reconstitution of the narrative that we see in Gaza, where Israel was attacked, and now Israel is seen all over the world as the aggressor because of the scale of the damage to civilians in Gaza. So absent that, given that the Houthis are very much embedded in civilian population, there's not that much you can do, except perhaps, for example, to blockade the port of Hodeidah. That they probably could do. That would involve preventing foodstuffs and medicines from going into a country that has had a cholera epidemic and where 500,000 people have died in the past decade because of the war and instability and misery caused by the Houthis. So it really is a pickle. And basically, Israel needs to continue doing what it's been doing, which is to strike when it has opportunities to actually degrade the Houthis.